about exports, the business developer service provider framework 1. That was on Tuesday. So today it's a continuation. This framework 2. It was too large, so we couldn't finish that day. So we had to divide into 2. And I would like this presentation to be more of interactive. I think it would make the learning process seamless. I don't know if someone can tell us if they can remember what we talked about on Tuesday. Somebody is willing to share what we learned on Tuesday. Is someone willing? Okay, since no one is willing, I'll just go ahead. We talked about what BDSP is and the core functions of BDSP and who needs BDSP. Different types of people who need BSP, but in general, exporters need BDSP because what the BDSP does is to change your challenges to opportunities. We talked about that on Tuesday. That's when a company comes and they have challenges, the BDSP looks into the challenges and diagnoses whatever issue the company has and turns it into opportunities. So we all as exporters, we need BDSP. Then we talked about the framework of BDSP intervention. We talked about the tools for business analysis. We also talked about financial management for exporters, and then talked about digital marketing for export sources in relating to the BDSP. And then we also talked about navigating the entrepreneurial system. So today is like a continuation. And the training objective, our training objective is to explore how creativity and innovation can drive the business growth, especially in the export sector. And the goal is to equip you with tools and framework to foster innovation, tackle barriers, and enable strategic growth. So we are zooming into 3 key areas. First, we need to understand what creativity and innovation mean. Then next, we'll identify the types of innovation and barriers that might be slowing you down. Then we'll talk about the tools like the Scamper and the Growth Spider to help you structure your thinking and measure your success. So basically, let's dig into the main activity of the day. So creativity is about thinking outside the box. You need to generate new and original ideas that go beyond traditional norms. So it's what fuels problem solving, and it leads to fresh opportunities. While innovation, on the other hand, is the application of creative ideas, putting them into creating value. So whenever I think of innovation, you think about how it can bridge between imagination and action. So you see the difference between creativity and innovation. I'll repeat again so that we understand that creativity is about thinking outside the box. You have a product. Your product is this in a particular way. You want to restructure your product. You're thinking outside the box, not what the product you have. So you want to generate new ideas. So like I said, it goes beyond traditional norms. It's fuels problem solving and leads to fresh opportunities. And innovation is the application of those creative ideas to create value. And I said we should also think about it as bridge between imagination and action. So I hope we are all there. So let me use Uber as an example. To put this into perspective, you remember when Uber came out, they had an app. They revolutionized transportation by rethinking customers' experience. They will ask customer, what do you think about this? What do you think are there hitches here and there? It was with people's comments that they used to improve what Uber is today. So it's like scaling globally. So that's a typical example of creativity and innovation into your business. We go to the next slide. Why is innovation important? When you see this kind of question, you should ask yourself if innovation is critical or it isn't critical. And it is critical, especially for starters. It keeps your business competitive and aligned with market trends. So innovation drives growth and even motivates employees because they feel like they're part of something dynamic. So if you neglect innovation, your business has a risk of losing market share, and productivity will decline, efficiency will suffer, and it's a really very bad danger of becoming obsolete. Let's always remember that industries are moving fast. So the question here is, are we moving with them? We exporters, are we moving with this new innovations with industries? So you need to drive competitiveness and growth. You need to enhance employee motivation. Without your employees, can your business thrive? No, it cannot. So you need to enhance their employee motivation. You need to align your business with market trends. What is in the market out there? So innovation has its benefits. And we do not want to think of losing the market share or hearing that we are declining productivity and efficiency. No. So innovation has its benefits and it has its consequences of neglect. So the categories of innovation. First, it's divided into 4 categories. The first, product innovation. It has to do with meeting customers customers' needs by introducing new offerings. Here, when you meet customer or you come to meet me and you tell me your challenges and why your business is not growing, we have to start thinking of new markets or new customers or new trends. Maybe this is not what is trending, and we need to meet up to what it's out there. So you need to meet your client, meet your customers' need with new offerings. You also need to go through have process innovation, and this one focuses on making your operations smoother and more efficient. Then we talk of organizational innovation. It enhances teamwork and adaptability. Finally, we have the marketing innovation. This one, it has to do with tapping into new strategies to reach your customers. So each category plays a unique role. The key is understanding which type your business needs, or which one you should focus more on, or which one you should divert to. So you cannot go through all. You need to take the one that is important for your business and drop the other one. Also, we have the barriers to innovation. Internally, there's often resistance to change people's fear and failure, or maybe they lack the necessary skills and resources. So you see that there's always resistance to change. There's lack of skills or resources. People are scared to go out there. Oh, what if I don't get it? What if I get it? No. You need to face your fears. You need to come out there. If you don't come out, how do people see you? If you don't make mistakes, how do people correct you? So you have to break that barrier to innovation and come to the dim light. Also, we have external challenges like regulatory constraints, which I know most of you have issues with, and then market dynamics. I want to give an example of MSMEs in Nigeria struggling with digital adaptation. They know that they need to innovate. A lot of companies know that they need to innovate, but maybe because of barriers of digital literacy or high cost of technology, it slows them down. So that's just typical example of internal challenges. You need to come out from your cupboard and face whatever it is. If you don't know, you ask. Learning is always a process. There's no knowledge that is gained that is waste. We are all learning. So what you don't understand, you can come up with it, and people are here to assist you. So it leads us to the tools to foster creativity and innovation. This is where it gets exciting. First, we have the Scamper framework. And Scamper stands for substitute, combine, adapt, modify, put to other use, eliminate, reverse. So it's a brainstorming tool that helps you think critically and creativity, how you need to improve your products and services. For example, you can substitute traditional packaging materials with biodegradable options and align it with your products to make it eco-friendly and to the current trends in the market. While the second tool, the growth spider, it's a visualization and planning method to assess your performance in key areas like scaling your customer engagement, and it gives you a clear understanding or clear picture where helps to set your realistic goals, something like that. So that's what this growth spider does. So let's always have it in mind that it's very important to track your progress in key business areas. So these are the tools that when you use, like I talked about innovation, these are new tools that have been innovated. So if you have these tools and you use it, it will help you know where your business stands, if you're progressing, if you're declining, where you need to improve, where you don't need to improve. It just keeps telling you that, so far as it gives you it tells you this about your company, you impute it. Where do you see you impute? It will shoot up and tell you, no, this is not what is going to help your company. So it's very important that we get used to these tools, or we study these tools, because it's going to help our businesses. Now, the benefits of Growth Spider. Why do we use Growth Spider? It encourages focused discussions. It helps you also visualize your business performance, and it also supports data-driven decision-making. So it's a great way to align your goals with actionable steps. Imagine having a clearer snapshot of your business's strengths and areas for improvement all in one place. So it's very important that we use the Growth Spider tool when analyzing our company structure. So the Scamper framework in action, the objective, you need to innovate a traditional product. You need to start by substituting a component. That's what I mean by innovate a traditional product. You need to start by substituting a component, maybe replace plastic with sustainable alternatives, or combine features to add value to your products, like reusable functions. So you need to ask yourself, if I use this, is it giving me extra costs? You need to really put in ideas and get them ready for implementation. That's the power of structured creativity. So when you do this, you see that you have new product ideas ready for implementation. That's the outcome. When you innovate or put a traditional product, you identify what to substitute. You combine features to add value, and then you modify designs to reduce costs, especially knowing how expensive things are in Nigeria. So you see that you have a new product idea, which is ready for implementation. So I would like us to have this example. Now, maybe you can take note of it. I'll send the slides. You can take note of it, and later you can go through it. Visualize and prioritize your strategic goals. For doing that, you need to identify key performance indicators, whether it's sales, customer base. Then you need to set measurable goals. Then track your progress over time using radar charts. Like I talked about, you need to use the growth spider to measure your export readiness, to see the growth in your business. So by doing that, the best practice to use is you need to set goal focused on improvement. You need to encourage suggestions and reward creativity. You need to foster a culture of learning and adaptation. Like I said, I think I've gone through this, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, so interactive activity, we need to apply innovative tools. So the objective is to apply Scamper to a sample business problem. The steps: you need to choose a product or service, then use Scamper prompts to generate ideas, and then participants can present their innovative solutions. But like I said, because we don't have that time, I'll allow you go through this, and then later maybe we can, on the platform, we can discuss about ideas. You can even use your personal products. It will make things easy for you to know if you generated a good idea on challenges you're facing. So the recap and takeaway is that creativity drives innovation, and innovation is vital for business growth and competitiveness. So tools like Scamper and Growth Spider empower structured thinking. So I want us all to do this together. I don't know if we are all here. I need responses. So because it's something we need to tax our brain a little bit. So I'll just read. I think are we all here?
Yes, we are with you. Yeah.
Okay, I want to read out the case study. Maybe we can bring out a sheet of paper or something to write our ideas.
Yes.
Okay, I'll read. Olga Organics is a Kano-based company engaged. Sorry, my screen is blocking the question. Okay. Olga Organics is a Kano-based company engaged in organic food production and bottled water. The company is facing significant sustainability challenge, primarily related to liquidity and working capital management. While the organic produce unit of the business experiences strong sales, the overall company suffers from high levels of waste due to perishable products, inconsistent supplier payment terms, seasonal fluctuations in demand, and delayed payments from key clients, especially restaurants. As a result, the business has limited cash reserves to manage daily operations. Management has invited a BDSP with expertise in small business financial management to help address these issues and develop an effective working capital management strategy that will enhance the company's profitability and efficiency. They have tasked the BDSP with creating a performance-based model that will clearly indicate improvement timeline after the BDSP's work is complete. So the question is, suggest an effective methodology, include flow chart or table to enhance the quality of your answer. So what do we think will be the first stage in handling this issue? Are we all here? I need response.
Good morning, everybody.
Okay, you can speak, ma.
All right. From what you have said, I think it would have been better if that question was explicitly shown so that we can even see the details. But from what you read, I think I picked one or two things, challenges that the business was facing. And one of them is the high rate of risk. So I believe for that problem, they may have to engage a different packaging system that is eco-friendly to reduce the wastage level of the company. That is just one. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any other person?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, my hand is up.
Okay, let's speak.
Yes, please. Thank you very much for the opportunity given to speak. One of the problems I think I had with delayed payment. The company also experiences delayed payment. The former speaker made mention of wastages. To avoid delayed payment, one of the strategies for a small business to survive will be that when customers place order, ask them to make 75 or 50% down payment. They will make 50%, 50 to 75% down payment. Then upon delivery, that 50 to 25% complete payment is now done. That is one way to shy away from all those delayed payments, and then they see they are experiencing liquidity issues. Getting money to run the business will also not be a problem. Now, secondly, another way to avoid problems like this liquidity is to engage suppliers who will be ready to give you credit. These suppliers will supply you in such a way that after supply, they will give you, you will give them terms as to come and collect your money after 30 days, after 60 days, or after 90 days. This period given will now be enough for you to transform the raw material they have supplied into finished goods, supply, and also get paid so that when they come after that tenure, you will not find any excuse. By so doing, you will have everything to your favor to run the business so that you will always keep afloat and do the needful. I would have loved also to speak on that spider web that you made mention of it. Let me stop at this point to allow other speakers to make their own contribution. Thank you very much. My name is Ebu Nailova Nedan. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Hello.
Is there any other person who wants to share an idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hello,
you can go ahead.
Chinelo. Thanks so much for your presentation so far. Okay, my own contribution is this way. I actually try to listen carefully to know what is actually expected of us. We are asked to come up with a design that is performance based as a DSP to solve the client problem. So we actually tasked to create a model that the company can use that can visibly isolate or eyeball performance indicators, something they can use as a model to track their performance. So what are the performance indicators supposed to be? You should ask yourself before you can design something that can enable them to do it. We've already been exposed to the challenges, which has to do with liquidity issues, things that has to do with supplier inconsistency payment, waste due to perishable, the perishable nature of the product. So we have to just design a kind of simple template that can track growth, that can track sales, that can track receivables or payment. It's almost like doing a kind of weekly sales performance monitoring. You can couch it by maybe using something like a variance analysis, something that track what you sold last week vis-a-vis what you sold this week, maybe payment received vis-a-vis payment out there. So those are some of my take. We can design something in a table, in a simple table or in a chart that can capture growth by way of variance analysis, that can capture growth by way that can capture payment by way of variance analysis, in the sense that if payment has been received this week more than what it was last week, it will show indication of progress. It will also capture the time it's taking for payment to be received, which can also help you address the time lag or use the option the previous speaker suggested about maybe collecting down payment and what have you. But just to design a template that can help them monitor all these challenges and see that there is growth. That's actually our job. So that's why I'm speaking to this model. I don't know if that we have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Can
Thank
I
you very
speak?
much. Yes, please, Mike can speak.
All right. I just read the thing again, and I'm saying, it says the company experiences strong sales, and at the same time, they are from high levels of waste due to perishable products. So it's like either in as much as they are making high sales or strong sales, either they are buying, maybe the perishable product is referring to raw materials or already produced already manufactured products. I'm not sure which of these two categories this waste due to perishable products is referring to. But there is obviously a gap here, as in if it is raw materials, maybe they are buying excess raw materials compared to sales that is being made. So they need to check the rate of sales, which from the record is good. They have strong sales. But maybe they are overbuying their raw materials. So from the records of week to week or day to day, they should be able to streamline, reduce the raw materials being bought at a time since they are maybe perishable. Or perhaps if it is the finished product that is that perishable within a short time, then they should know how and what quantity to produce per time to prevent excess products in the shop. While strong sales are going on, there's still excess that eventually ends up perishing. That's what I want to contribute. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma. Well, we are all right. We are all correct. Our contributions are all correct, but from the case study, on the points organic faces, and from the case study analysis, it's has learned that it's faced problems of liquidity and working capital, which is causing perishable waste and late customer payments, as well as varying conditions for supply. So we need to identify what the problem is first, because if we don't know what the problem is, there's no way we can actually tackle the company's problem. So we've identified what the problem is, which is liquidity, working capital, and perishable waste with late customer payment. So to address this methodology, you need to, to address this, my methodology to get there will be to assess current operations, design the suitable solution, and implement the performance-based model. And how is the most effective way? I'll first of all conduct a diagnostic analysis. You remember when I told you about diagnostic analysis last week? And what's the objective? You need to detect the specific reason for any inefficiencies in working capital, like financial review. First step has been looking at their accounts receivable, their inventory turnover, and their cash flow, and figuring out where cash is getting stuck. Then you also need to look at their waste audit. We want an analysis of how much goes to wastage, and for what reason. Is it because of overproduction, or poorly stored, or mismatch with supply and demand? Then customer payment cycle. We need to do some classifications for customer based on payment behavior. Who is paying on time? Who is delaying? And the deliverable is that this stage gives you a clear baseline of metrics such as their cash conversion cycle and liquidity ratio, which will build on in future steps. Step 2, you can put in the strategy development, and the goal is to develop actionable strategic options to deal with Shema's working capital. I don't know how many of us have heard of operation management. There's something called just in time. You need to put the just in time. It means that your production or stocking only when it's needed to minimize idle perishable. Don't just go and overstock when you don't have food to give it to. Then your receivable management, you need to give customers incentive pricing that offers some discounts on invoices paid between 10 days from the date of invoice. This will accelerate cash inflows. Then you need to have supplier negotiation, like possible extension of payment terms, like from 30 days to 60 days, which means lower amount of cash outflow for immediate use. So the metrics to track is inventory turnover and receivable periods. So that's it. Like I said, it's something that you need to tax your brain to resolve. So this is how companies, you exporters, will also bring your challenges, and then we'll sit down and look at it. I put up a form on the BDSP platform 2 weeks ago.
Sorry, madam. I'm not seeing where to raise hand. I missed the second point you mentioned. Inventory turnover and what? You mentioned very critical solution.
I talked about the metrics to track. You need to use inventory turnover and receivable periods. Those are the metrics to track your strategy development.
I didn't get the receivable period. What is it referring to?
Were you there when we talked about working capital in our last class?
Yeah, I read it up. I can understand those ones. I want to know specifically what you mean by receivable period. You mean to cut down the
period? Yes, the receivable period is the period you're waiting for your cash.
Okay.
If it's 30 days, if it's 60 days, you need to negotiate with your supplier.
Okay.
So those are the key things to track: your inventory turnover and your receivable period. When money comes in, your inflow of capital comes in.
I get it now. Thanks.
Okay. So,
please,
like
please,
I said
missed step one. Is step one.
Okay. Step one, like I said, I've talked about our last class. It's just like when you're sick and you go to the hospital, you tell the doctor you feel this way, and the doctor tells you need to go and run a test to know what exactly the issue is. So we are putting that same method into the challenge the company is having. So you need to detect the specific reasons for inefficiencies in the working capital, because we are talking about this company now has issue of working capital. We identify that they have liquidity and working capital issues. They have waste challenge. They have late customer payments, right? So the objective is to detect the specific reasons for inefficiencies in the working capital. And by doing this, we need to go through their financial review. And the first step is that you need to look through their account receivable, their inventory turnover, and their cash flows. And you need to figure out where the cash is getting stuck, why they're having that issue. Where is this money? Where is hanging? Do you understand? Do you understand now?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay. So like I said, that the benefits of BDSP, you need to access networking and funding opportunities. You need expert-led session on critical export topics, and you need tailored advice for scaling export operations. So that's what it is. So thank you for listening. Thank you all for listening. So do we have any question?
So how do we get that scamper and the whatever? What's that second one again? The two stuffs you mentioned, the two tools. How do we get the scamper and the what's that one? You know it now. What you just thought of.
Yes, go spider too. Yes, that's why I said it's either you register as a BDSP, go through the training, and then they will give you the app. Their app, they are paid for. So that's why we.
How do we get registered, please, as a BDSP? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So how do we get registered as a BDSP?
You're to register with the Kaduna Business School or the Lagos Business School.